What is up, guys? What is up? Welcome back to the Silver Surfers channel, and we got a fantastic one for you guys today. Absolutely stoked on this. It's quite large, first of all, and it is quite difficult to film. So bear with me on this one because it's probably going to be pretty shaky. I'll just give you a fair warning in advance. But anyways, let's go ahead and pick this up here. Do my very best to try and keep it still while I'm talking. What you see in front of you is an old-fashioned United States Navy recruitment poster. This one is from 1917, and it was done by the artist Babcock. Right there, as you can see, is the last name. And this was done in regards to World War I, as many of you guys recall in history. So a little bit about propaganda posters, that's kind of the big group that they're in, there's a whole different mess of them, but during World War I, the poster itself was instrumental in marketing a lot of the different values. And as I'm saying this, guys, I'm just going to kind of scroll closely here over the poster for you and try to get close-ups. But the poster was very important with marketing-wise for the United States citizens on the home front here as well as overseas, and it really had its heyday, if you would, back in World War I particularly. Now remember, guys, the radio and all the other things that we use communication nowadays, social media, etc., none of that stuff was really in use all that much or even invented during the time of World War I in the early turn of the century here. And so these massive posters would be printed and posted up all over the place. There's kind of a few different categories of propaganda posters during World War I. You would, some of them are anti-Axis, some of them are recruitment posters, as this is right here, for the various military branches like the Marine Corps, Navy, and Army. Some of them are for things to do on the home front, like conserving food and parts and supplies, buying war bonds, all different kinds of things. Most of you guys have probably seen the very famous image of Uncle Sam pointing, saying, "I want you for the U.S. Army." That was done in World War I as well by James Montgomery Flagg, as the famous illustrator and artist. But there are so many other ones, and myself being in the Navy, as most of you guys probably already know by now, very many years I've been in, I'm just attracted, obviously, to this, and it fits my niche, if you would, with the life that I have. So this is probably, I think there is there was thousands of posters printed during World War I, and a lot of those were also recruitment posters. There's probably about, I'd say, 30 to 40, 50-ish of very popular kind of Navy ones, and this one being my most favorite of all of those, to be honest. I reached out to a dealer who had it in stock. They rarely come up for auction every few years or so. They're very tough to find, all original. And I was able to make a deal with them, guys, and I got it. And I just absolutely love this. So the image on the front here is of an old sailor in his Cracker Jack uniform, that's what we call that for the United States Navy, riding a torpedo with the little reins here that he's holding, as you can see. And what I think is very hilarious is that not only has he got a little smirk on his face, but look at his right hand there. He's holding the fuse to the torpedo to light it. And so how cool is that, man? That's something we would do still today, I feel like, as we horse around a lot in the military and obviously get the mission done. But anyways, so this is done by an artist. The last name is Babcock. I'm not going to go too much into his story, but again, World War I was the start of the posters. These are all done with lithographs. So what they would do is the artist or the illustrator would draw the design, as this design right here, and then they would etch pieces of it were different, that was going to be used for the different colors. So say one stone of limestone for the blue, one stone for this color, teal, one stone for orange, one stone for the red, font, yellow font, etc. And it was a very labor-intensive process. After the image was engraved on these limestone sheets, they would go ahead, or blocks, they would go ahead and then ink that limestone that had the specific ink that they're going to use. You only do one color at a time. they would ink that particular limestone, and then they would put the poster on it, and then essentially use pressure to transfer that image of ink onto the poster itself. And that process would then have to dry and then repeat for the next color and the next color and the next color. So very labor intensive process, but also a beautiful piece of fine art, which is all considered fine art nowadays, as opposed to just oil paintings, watercolors, etc. Illustrators and lithography, especially back in the day like this, are now also considered fine art. This thing is massive, dudes. It's like, whatever, the poster itself, you can see the edge right here, where I'm at. This white border underneath, see if I can flip up one of these things that's holding it down here. This is a canvas linen that's actually backing the poster itself, and that's for preservation, conservation. The poster can still be removed with the linen, but that's common practice amongst professionals within this field, professional dealers, etc., to get these things linen backed, because it gives it much more rigidity for framing such a thing like this, and also it helps to conserve the poster. Plus, it also helps to perform restoration services if need be, which this has had a couple of them. There's been a tear up in the top there. Where am I at here? There's there you go. You can see a very small tear on the right side. But the glorious thing about linen backing is once you do it, again, this is only probably 2 feet, 2.5, 3 feet, the video where I'm showing you guys right now, and you can't see any of it. It blends right in, and these guys are like magicians. These restorers and these linen backers, it just looks phenomenal. And so looking at it, unless you're under a loop or highly zoomed in staring at the image, you're not going to be able to even see the deficiencies that it has in there if it's properly linen backed. And so those are all the different reasons, and some, that they would do such a thing. But this poster, again, one of my favorites. It's 28 inches in width by 41 inches in length. Just the poster itself, not including the linen backing, so it's even probably a little bit longer. I am planning on framing this. I have a couple other ones I also want to get around to sharing with you guys, but this is one of my faves. And just such a beautiful image here, dudes. Polar Currency did a 2-part video on World War II paper money, and on his background, ironically, on the first one, had a very famous war bonds poster of Uncle Sam marching with a bunch of men in the background. And so I was chatting with him and showing him this, and I had to get this video out to post it. But you guys know me, I love my antiques, love anything naval themed, obviously, because it's very applicable to my life. And just a beautiful piece of artwork, dudes. World War II definitely changed the way that a lot of this stuff is done. Printing wise, I should say, chromolithography was kind of gone beyond the wayside. There was still some artists that did it during World War II as well, but again, very labor intensive, and so they started coming up with newer methods to do this a lot faster. And I'll share one of those here in the future. But anyways, I'm gonna show you guys what I got. Hope you enjoyed, and leave a comment below. And until next time, Silver Surfer is out, folks.